Right, Chelsea come away from Old Trafford yesterday afternoon disappointed after only taking 1 point off of Manchester United, but I do believe that there is a lot of context that goes behind that 1 point that we took off them. There is a new manager bounce. There is a curse when it comes to Chelsea getting a win at Old Trafford that stretches all the way back to when we beat Alex Ferguson in his last season. And since then, it has been an unhappy hunting ground for us, to say the least. But one of the main talking points that has come after yesterday's game, I've seen it on Twitter, I've seen it online, and I can't get my head round it, is the fact, apparently, that the internet are claiming that Cole Palmer does not turn up in big matches for Chelsea Football Club. So there is only one man that I can discuss this absolute ludicrousy with, and that is the big dog, the channel fan favourite, the man, the myth, the legend, Josh Aveste. Josh?
I'm ready. I'm ready to talk all about Cole Palmer because apparently, even though you're the best young player of the year, even though you're scoring more goals and assists than any other player pretty much in the entire world, apparently you're a flop. It makes sense.
Yeah, and you don't turn up in the big matches, and again we go on this sort of traditional big six, don't we? But it's weird, really, because if it was the big six, why don't we rank it on the 6 spaces in the actual Premier League rather than the traditional big six? But listen, it's very, very easy because there's a graphic flying round at the minute and it shows Cole Palmer as having what on SofaScore is actually an average rating, by the way, not a bad rating, an average rating in the match on the opening day against Manchester City, in the game away at Anfield against Liverpool, who are flying high at the top of the league, and then again in yesterday's match against Man United. So we are going to speak about Cole Palmer's performances in big games. We are going to speak a little bit about yesterday's game, what went right, what went wrong, how we should feel coming away from the game, but also, most importantly, we are going to do what we started to do every Monday and answer some of the questions that you guys have sent in. So strap yourself in, subscribe to the channel if you're not already, like the video, make sure you are subscribed to Josh's channel, which, by the way, you lot have been getting in the comments, Josh, where are the uploads? Well, he uploaded yesterday, and not only did he upload, he did a how many hours live stream?
3, near enough.
A 3-hour live stream, yeah? So don't say this man does not work. I will not have it. One man that does work, works his socks off, and is exceptional in doing so is Cole Palmer. Now, before we just jump to the conclusion and reveal the storyline of this video, did Cole Palmer have a quieter match yesterday by his standards?
I mean, quite a match in the form of he didn't get a goal or an assist, but I still think he was exceptional. Have you seen this clip that's going around of the slow-mo where he nuts Ugarte and then sort of takes around him? Have you seen that?
I haven't seen the clip.
Oh, I'd suggest you watch it.
How many times you watched it?
How many times have I watched it naked is the main question that you should be asking.
Right. Well, I am going to say you are a bath man rather than a shower man.
Yeah,
and one of the
fair
main
enough.
benefits of being a bath man, as I know, is content in the bath.
Yeah.
Not that type of content. I don't
Well, maybe.
No. Would you? They know what I'm on about.
Yeah, would you partake in
Would
that?
you partake in the bath?
I mean, it's a bit weird lining it afterwards. It's a bit awkward.
Exactly.
Yeah, so maybe not.
You wouldn't piss in your own
Do
bath.
you know what? I've always never understood the whole sort of like sea, jacuzzi, swimming pool, bath intimacy.
It's because of Big Brother 04.
It is
After
because of-
Anthony done Makosi in
Can
the
you
jacuzzi.
get pregnant in a jacuzzi if you're a young lady? And that
I
happens?
can't get pregnant at all.
Are you sure?
Believe it or not.
You've
But then again,
tried.
2024, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe that's a rabbit hole we'll have to go down on another day.
We've gone from Makosi to that.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Anyway, yesterday's game, 4 Cole Palmer, 3 key passes, 1 big chance created, 100% success rate with his dribbles, 9 out of 10 ground duels won. But apparently he didn't turn up.
Apparently he's rubbish.
Apparently he's rubbish. Now, again, this is what I always have to stress in life. people on the internet don't understand sometimes that there's not middle ground. Like, people
Wait a second,
honestly
there's
don't.
middle grounds?
No, middle ground doesn't exist.
It's either one or the other.
It's
He's either a generational talent
Yeah,
or he's a League Two player.
yeah. There you go.
And
There-
what was he against Man United?
Oh, complete League Two player. Complete League Two player. Doesn't turn up in the big games. Now,
dear.
let's address these big games, right? Because Manchester City, opening day of the season. Now, let's say, for example, the likes of Enzo Fernandez. Let's say the likes of Caicedo. Let's say the likes of Marc Cucurella. A lot of these boys did not have much game time in pre-season, but they all had more game time than a certain man, Cole Palmer.
Yeah.
Cole Palmer did not join up with the squad out in America at all as part of the pre-season tour. Enzo Fernandez did, by the way. Yeah. Okay. Cole Palmer,
Your favourite player.
my favourite player. Cole Palmer did not turn up and did not join up. So Cole Palmer, when he played against City, was literally playing some of his first minutes of football since the Euro final.
What happened
yeah.
in the Euro final? I can't remember.
Well, firstly, before we explain what happened in the Euro final, would you class the Euro final as a big game?
I would say it's a decent sized game.
It's quite a big game, isn't it?
It's all right.
It's quite a big
it's all right.
game.
I mean, it's no sort of Tuesday night in Stoke, but it's all right.
But then Cole Palmer didn't even make the starting lineup. So would we put it down as he didn't turn up?
He must be rubbish.
He must not have turned up in that game. I'm trying to scratch my brain now because I'm forgetful. I'm the one that forgot that David Luiz absolutely rocketed in his penalty,
How
and
could you forget
everyone knew about that. So I'm quite forgetful. Can you remind me? I might need to Google this. How did Cole Palmer play in that game once he did get on the pitch?
Do you know what? That game, that day was a bit of a blur, but even through the blurriness, the haziness of memory, I remember him having a pretty decent impact in that game.
Hold on.
Is it coming back to you?
I think he scored, didn't he?
Do you know what? And I don't think it was a tap-in.
No.
No.
That was it. That was it. He pulled one in from outside the box and absolutely put it straight past the Spaniard goalkeeper and therefore got England back into the game. A game, by the way, that we wouldn't have been getting back into. We probably would have been going in front in had Cole Palmer have scored in that big game. Euro final. Don't come much bigger than that. By the way, if you count the Community Shield, that means he's played in 3 finals. How many has he scored in?
Do you know what? Based on the big game theory, it must have been 0.
It must have been 0.
Yeah.
But didn't he score in the Community Shield? An absolute great goal.
It's a glorified friendly, isn't it?
Oh, okay. Didn't he score in the Super Cup as well?
Do you know what I mean? Like another glorified friendly. No one really cares about that.
Scoring a goal that isn't his forte, isn't a trademark. And then didn't he also score in the Euro final?
Oh, wait a second. That's actually a big game.
Yeah. Do you know what I'm actually thinking as well? So Euro final, goal from outside the box.
Yeah.
Right? Against, I think it was Sevilla in the Super Cup.
Decent team.
Header at the back stick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then who was the Community Shield against?
Community Shield against Arsenal. Decent team. Big game. Yeah.
I mean, they were a decent team at that time.
They were runners-up in the Premier League. Yeah. And the goal he scored in that one was... It's coming to me. Oh, that's it. Yeah, it was an absolute beauty. Cuts in, curls one in on the left foot. Now, what do all 3 of them goals have in common?
Tell me.
They're all in big games.
They're all screamers.
And they're all... No, but he only scores penalties, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does.
No, he only scores penalties. He's a penalty merchant.
Yeah.
Oh, so the stats must be wrong. My memory must be wrong. I've been getting hit in the head way too often. But we were speaking about the big games this season. So, Man City... I think that Cole Palmer played all right in the Man City game, but he had a quieter game by his standards. And the reason for that, I would imagine, was first game back of the season, first game back without linking up with any of those players in pre-season, playing with them, and obviously being part of the tour of the United States of America.
Brand new system, new manager coming in.
There you go.
We probably were always going to lose that game, even if Cole Palmer had the best game of his life.
Well, there you go. And then maybe look what he did in the game after that to make up for it. But let's move on to the next big game when we're talking about Big Six. And that game was against Liverpool. Now, by all admissions, I would say that Cole Palmer had a quieter game against Liverpool. Yeah?
Yep.
I think that's pretty
fair to say.
Pretty fair.
Yeah.
He was still a contributor to a team that ran Liverpool very close and Liverpool are top of the league. And ultimately, in that game against Liverpool, we deserved to win a penalty when Jadon Sancho was fouled by Trent Alexander-Arnold.
We all know it.
And we all know it. And if we had won that penalty, Cole Palmer would have converted the penalty. So maybe you wouldn't have been saying that he didn't turn up. But fair enough.
He only scores penalties, though.
Fair enough. What is he, 21 years old?
It's old for a footballer.
Yeah, a 20-odd-year-old, young kid in his second season of first-team football who was shipped out by Manchester City, didn't score from his own half against Liverpool, so he doesn't turn up in the big games. And then we move on to yesterday's game against Manchester City. I've already read out the stats
Against
in
Manchester
yesterday's.
City, bloody hell.
Manchester United.
Yeah.
I've already read out the stats for that game. There was a moment of magic in that game. Did you see it when the ball came? There's two men on him, and this is something we'll speak about as well, right? And he takes that touch, and I thought, hold on,
misplaced
hold on, has he misplaced the touch, or has he passed to someone that wasn't there? And then he runs through both of them, ends up being brought down and fouled, and that's something we've got to speak about, isn't it?
I mean, Ugarte probably should have been sent off, shouldn't he? He was on a yellow for about half the match. And he was absolutely going for Cole Palmer and every other player, to be fair. And the thing we do need to discuss is that teams are now getting wise to the impacts of Cole Palmer and how generational his talent is. And they're putting 2 or 3 players on Cole Palmer and marking him. And what Cole Palmer has to do is drop deep, find space, because if he doesn't do that, he's just going to get absolutely battered. But when he does drop deep, Is he any good at passing? I can't think of a pass that he's done recently.
I'm trying to think of a pass where he's like dropped deep, and almost like had his been in his own half with his back to
you've remembered it. There was one.
The pass against Newcastle.
Yeah, there was one
against Newcastle. By the way, where are Newcastle in the league?
Do you know what?
Are they above Man United? I think.
Do you know what? I think they might be above Man United, actually.
Yeah.
And Jamie Carragher, what did he say about that pass?
He said it was one of the best passes he'd ever seen.
And he's obviously a big Chelsea exponent, a big fan of Chelsea.
And he's a man that's played with one of the best playmakers in football in Xabi Alonso. He's also played with Steven Gerrard. So he's had his fair share.
He's also played with Martin Skrtel.
Yeah, and Joey Cole.
Yeah.
So there you go, my mate. So one of the best passes he's ever seen. By the way, Cole Palmer also scored a goal in that match when he smashed one in against Nick Pope, good shot stopper from outside the box, against the team in Newcastle, who, by the way, are obviously above Man United.
And a better defensive
in the league this season. And I think finished above Man United in the league last season, didn't they?
What a surprise.
There you go. So by the way, when we're talking about these Big Six games...
I don't think they did, by the way.
No, I don't think they did.
Yeah, but you know, why let the truth get in the way of it, eh?
Never let the truth get in the way of a good lie. Now, when we speak about these games, right? So the teams that he hasn't played that well against, Liverpool are top of the league, Man City, whatever. And you're saying he hasn't played well, but you're holding him to Cole Palmer standards that he set himself. Standards, by the way, that not one single person who is being negative about Cole Palmer in the media so far thought that he was capable of, including, by the way, Pep Guardiola, who moved him on and was starting Phil Foden, who won PFA Player of the Season somehow last year, ahead of Cole Palmer, instead of Cole Palmer. Now, I'm telling you, if there's a man that will turn up in a big game, it is Cole Palmer rather than Phil Foden. But whether we speak about that or not, let's speak about the teams that Cole Palmer has faced this season that are higher than Man United in the league.
Forest.
The team that Nottingham Forest. There you go. So we've got Brighton, we've got Newcastle, we've got Forest. So that's 3 games there. Sorry, how many goal involvements does he have in those 3 games?
It must be 0.
Well, it must be 0 because he doesn't turn up in big games.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, Josh, to break the media bubble and the agenda that's going round and the narrative that's going round,
media bubble or media agenda against Chelsea.
It's unheard of, isn't it?
Yeah,
no. In those 3 games with those 3 teams that are all placed in the Premier League above Man United at the moment, including us, by the way, 6 goal involvements. So
that's all right, isn't it? Yeah, 2 a game. That's all right.
But then they're talking about the traditional Big Six, yeah? The traditional Big Six being... Man
Man
United.
United have dropped out now.
No,
haven't
but they are the traditional Big Six, aren't they?
Yeah, no,
Apparently.
I'm winding them up.
Apparently, they're in the
apparently
traditional Big Six.
They're a big team.
So
10
Man
years ago.
United, Man City,
Yeah.
Arsenal, Liverpool, Chelsea, Spurs. Okay, cool.
Spurs always sneak
cool.
into it, don't
so
they?
that means that you played 10 games against those traditional Big Six last season, and Cole Palmer was a starter for us, so he played in 10 games against the traditional Big Six last season.
Okay.
One of those games he was missing for, wasn't he?
Which one was that?
The game that he was missing for was the away trip to Arsenal, which we won't speak about. Yeah?
Oh, yeah, we don't need to worry about that.
But there's another game, isn't there? Opening day of the season against Liverpool. Because he hadn't signed for us by that point.
No.
So that then, out of those 10 games, rules out 2 of those games, doesn't it?
Yep.
So it means that he only played in 8 games against the traditional Big Six last season. How many goal involvements do you think he had in those 8 games?
I mean, if the media is saying that he can't turn up in these big games, it must be minimal.
It must be minimal.
Yeah.
But we give him 1 or 2, wouldn't we?
Maybe 2.
Two goal involvements in those 8 games.
And maybe that was only against the weaker teams.
Yeah.
Being
9 goal
United.
involvements.
What?
9 goal involvements in 8 games against the traditional Big Six.
And did that include a last-minute winner against... who was it against? Who was it against that we played at home where he got a last-minute winner that changed the game and potentially the trajectory of both team seasons?
Oh, was it the other club from Manchester, not City, the one?
The other one. The Noisy Neighbours.
The Noisy Neighbours, Manchester United. Yeah. Wasn't that one of 4 goals that he scored against Man United last season? I'm not sure,
But he
was it?
doesn't turn up against them.
No, because they're a Big Six club and he doesn't turn up against Big Six clubs. By the way, while we're just listing out games, and by the way, when we say Big Six, I've made the argument there that there are teams like Aston Villa, there are teams like Newcastle, like even Brighton, for example, that you don't class now in the Big Six, but they should be really, because if you look at the amount of times they've finished above a lot of these teams in this Big Six, like Spurs and like Man United, there's a few opportunities for them to be slipping in there. So, man of the matches last season, he won against Man United, he won against Spurs, he won against Villa, he won against Arsenal, he won against City. So,
it's kind of dispelled, isn't it? It's quite clear that Cole Palmer turns up, not just against the Minnows. He turns up, period.
So we've basically covered that, haven't we?
That's for all our American viewers, by the way. Period.
About Cole Palmer.
Because we call that a full stop.
We've called that full stop, but you call it period.
We call something else periods.
On the blob. Now, listen... I completely do understand, though, at the same time as us saying that and completely dispelling that, right? I understand.
What do you understand about it?
No, let me finish. I understand that yesterday's game was not a classic in terms of performances from Chelsea. But I do believe that we are really disregarding the fact that there is a new manager bounce at Old Trafford. And the way that they played their football yesterday wasn't in the vein of what you'd expect from Ruud van Nistelrooy. You thought that they were going to come out and all out attack us. At least that's what I thought.
I did too.
Whereas actually what they did was they sort of not sat back, but I actually thought defensively they were a little bit more resolute than they have been.
They mid-blocked it, Joey. It's called a mid-block.
They mid-blocked it, right?
Simple.
Any real chance, I would say, yesterday normally came from an error. So, say, for example, Caicedo dispossessing one of the Man United players, putting it onto Cole Palmer. He actually gets a shot off on goal. I think it was De Ligt that got in the way of it. Yeah. A lot of the chances that either team had came from individual errors. One being Robert Sanchez, a man that I know that you would be eager to speak about. Should we quickly touch on Robert Sanchez?
Before we leave Cole Palmer, can I also just say he should have had an assist?
He should have had an assist.
Now, there was the assist to that assist, the pre-assist. Can you remember who did that? Can you remember who passed it to Cole Palmer?
Was it Caicedo?
No.
Who was it?
It was a sub that came on.
Was it Mykhailo Mudryk?
Yes.
Yeah, there you go.
So remember, Mykhailo Mudryk does a chop, gets over to Cole Palmer. Cole Palmer whips an exquisite ball in, and Nicholas Jackson does everything but what he's meant to do in a striking position and doesn't attack the near post. He actually sort of pull back. Really weird one. Anyway, Cole Palmer should have had an assist.
Nicholas Jackson should have had an assist too.
When should Nicholas Jackson have had an assist? Tell me about it.
De Ligt falls over. Nicholas Jackson
also falls over.
Nicholas Jackson also falls over, but he falls over in grace, and in falling over, he puts the ball back to Enzo Fernandez and...
Fuck me. What a horrendous moment that was.
Should he have scored there?
Yeah.
He should have.
Simply, the answer is yeah. I can't even banter it anymore.
But does that not make you an Enzo hater for saying he should have slotted that one home?
It does.
It makes you an Enzo hater.
I'm part of your club that you've established.
Yeah.
I'm now a card-carrying member of that club.
Yeah. Yeah, there you go.
That's right.
So,
Fuck
you can't
me, he should have scored that though, shouldn't he?
You can't critique certain players. It makes you a hater. It makes you a hater.
Oh, he should have scored that so badly, shouldn't he?
I mean, he put it straight at the keeper, which, do you know what? When the keeper's a nana, not the worst thing maybe if it goes on target, but you skied it once again.
He skied it.
And I've been saying for so long now that,
can't finish his dinner.
that you're not very good at shooting. And then I'm getting comments like, the Enzo hate is just so forced. And it's just like, mate... There was an opportunity to score, which wasn't an open goal, because the goalkeeper's there.
But for a professional
footballer, you need to just Enzo Fernandez has phenomenal passing ability that we see time in, time out for Argentina. Just pass it into the corner. Very simple.
I've got one simple question for you, and this might rile up a couple of people here. Does Conor Gallagher score that goal?
Not only does he score it, he doesn't even slot it, mate. He smashes it. He smashes it home. The Gal Dog millionaire smashes that one
Would
home.
you have foregone Enzo ever coming to the club if it meant that Conor Gallagher was still in a Chelsea blue?
I'm not answering that question because these lot are just going to get right at
you
me
know what the answer
in the comment section.
You know what the answer is. You know.
But can I ask you just quickly about Robert Sanchez, because obviously we talk about we spoke for a while about match changing moments and moments that really do dictate not only the outcome of the game, but I've spoke about the fact that in the game, like, say, for example, was it 4-2 run against Brighton? It was, wasn't it,
Yeah.
right? That game, Robert Sanchez, he makes 2, 3, 4 mistakes or something like that. But we're scoring at such a prolific rate that you can probably make those mistakes. You can get lucky and get away with a few of those mistakes. And even in doing so, even if they scored all of the mistakes and pounced upon all of them, we're probably just going to outscore them. But in the bigger matches against the Big Six clubs or the tougher teams, I think that the margin for error is absolutely minimal. Would you agree with that?
Totally so. And that's why we've got to talk about what Robert Sanchez did. We've got to discuss the penalty moment.
Because when the ball is played over the top, great pass, by the way.
Unbelievable pass.
Who was it by?
Split
Was
the
it from
difference.
Casemiro, wasn't it? Yeah,
Was it? Was it not Bruno?
No, it was Casemiro. It was Casemiro that put the ball over.
Said he's pretty shit.
Well, I mean, Jamie Carragher said, obviously, leave football before the football leaves you. But Casemiro, great ball over the top.
Brutal.
Rasmus Højlund, right? His first touch takes it past Robert Sanchez. Now, listen, I can't see into the future, but I don't believe that Højlund puts that away.
No.
So I think if you're Robert Sanchez, you've gone to the ground already. I don't think you try and get the hand on it. I think you try and get back up, because what I think Højlund would have done is I think he would have gone a little bit too far with it and then looked for the pass.
Yeah.
And then probably what would have happened is Levi Colwill would have done another one of them John Terry-esque blocks and got in front of something,
Do you know
or
what
they
would
would
have
have
actually
fucked
happened?
it up. What?
Moises Caicedo would have come in and done another last-minute tackle like he did
There
earlier
you
in
go.
the game.
There
That's
you go.
That's what would have happened. Robert Sanchez, we need to talk about, because these errors now, he's making an error a game on average. You have to say, maybe not even on average, maybe just individual errors. And that penalty, while it was soft, I think we can agree it was a little bit soft, mate. Do you know what I mean?
It was a little bit soft.
But you make the VAR make that decision. It's just too easy. You know exactly what they're going to do. They're going to stop the game. They're going to get a still. It's going to be a hand on Rasmus Højlund's foot. Rasmus Højlund falls over like he's been shot. And then obviously you're going to get the penalty. So the key thing that Enzo Maresca has instilled in this Chelsea football team actually is a little bit of footballing intelligence. And we're seeing some of the naivety of young players evaporating, really. But what you're getting in vestiges in Robert Sanchez still is those sort of very simple, sort of like footballing intelligence errors. And that was one of them where you're just like, mate, just be a bit more cynical. Be a bit smarter with these things. And we're going away from that result from Man United, thinking that was a disappointing result. That's been the overwhelming sentiment that we've seen amongst all of the Chelsea fans and the creators that we see. But ultimately, if Robert Sanchez hadn't have made that error, we most likely go on to win the game. And maybe we go on to win it 1 or 2-0.
And do you know what the other thing is as well? I spoke time in, time out on this channel about the fact that I really do believe that this Chelsea team are now building character. I believe that we're showing resilience and an ability to roll our sleeves up and just be men out on the pitch at times. Whereas last season, we often seemed like boys out on the pitch. And that was answered very quickly within, I think, 4 minutes of them scoring the goal when Moises Caicedo absolutely smashes one in against Manchester United. By the way, that is the only 4 minutes this season that Manchester United have actually led in a game against a team above them in the league. So it had to be against us, but it only lasted for 4 minutes, and that shows us the mental resilience that we now have. Now, Moises Caicedo in yesterday's match, 9 duels won, 3 tackles, 3 fouls conceded, 3 fouls won, 2 take-ons completed, 1 chance created, 1 shot, 1 goal. And when you look at the rankings for the statistics accumulated across the Premier League so far this season, top 5 defensive midfielders in the league. Do you believe that Moises Caicedo's in there?
Yes.
Yeah.
I do.
Okay. So, number 5, we have got Alexis McAllister.
Okay.
Got a rating of 6.8.
He's not doing too bad considering they're top of the league.
And they're not conceding many goals either.
Yeah.
And that is why there should be no surprise that at number 3, Gravenberch is also in there. 7.3 his rating is.
Yeah.
Sandwiched between those two, right? A player that I don't know if you'll remember this.
It must be Ugarte.
No. No, they need to have made a minimum of 7 appearances. Sandwiched between those two is a player, right, that I remember speaking to you about, but you're not going to remember this, I don't think. But I remember when he came in, and obviously, it's just because I bet on the Championship all the time because you get really good odds. If I was to bet on the Championship, by the way, who would I put that bet on with?
You'd put it on with the best bookies in the entire land.
Stake, mate.
That's what they're called.
Yeah. And how do you know that I'd have put that bet on?
Because not only do we have the best bookies, but we have an innovative bookies in that you can chat to us and you can place bets with us.
So every bet that I place, this man knows about.
Not only do I know about it, I often fire off an emoji, and it's usually sort of just like a...
Yeah, and that's what usually happens with my bet. Yeah. But either way, because I was betting a lot on the Championship, I knew about this player. Lewis Cook, he's the one sandwiched...
I was literally about to say Lewis Cook, if you'd let me
he's the one sandwiched in the middle. Number 2.
He's had a good season, Lewis Cook.
Number 2 ranked defensive midfielders. He just comes in ahead of Ryan Gravenberch with a rating of 7.6. So Ryan Gravenberch, 7.3, 7.6 for this man. Defensive midfielder. Who do you think it is? Number 2.
I'm going to guess that he did play... Oh, no, he didn't play 7 games. I was going to guess Rodri, but he hasn't played 7 games, has he?
He does play for Man City.
Cover.
It's Cover.
Cover is a baller.
And who have they got to thank for that?
Us.
There you go. But number 1, right? Bearing in mind,
Declan Rice,
bearing in mind, there were small jumps. Yeah, it must be Declan Rice. Bearing in mind, there were small jumps. Yeah, you went from 6.9 with 6.8 with Alexis McAllister, 6.9 with Lewis Cook, 7.3 with Gravenberch, 7.6. So you're expecting probably number 1 to be around 7.9, maybe even 8 if they've been that good.
How much? What's the dirty number?
Sorry, when I'm reading these out, there should be an O in there. So 7.03, 7.09. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
So I'm thinking 7.0. If Mateo Kovacic was 7.06. So I'm thinking if it's a bit better than Kovacic, it could be 7.09.
Yeah.
It could even be 7.10, couldn't it?
Yeah, 7.1. Yeah, go on.
7.23. Moises Caicedo.
Is he that much better? Wow.
In the Premier League this season.
He's a fucking baller. And do you remember we were sat around the kickoff table and I remember people laughing at us when we said that Moises Caicedo is one of the best DMs in the league. We also did a video at the start of last season which was the best midfield threes.
Yep.
And again, people laughed at us for putting our midfield three anywhere near the top 3 of that list.
Looks very different now,
They're
though,
not
doesn't it?
laughing now.
And when
Are
you
they,
look
Jerry?
at that midfield three, right? We were sort of classing it. We weren't like looking at inverted ones. We were classing it as an attacking and 2 centre, like sort of defensive
DMs,
midfielders, right? And we were saying at the time it was going to be Enzo, Gallagher, Caicedo.
Yeah.
But now, if you think about it, and if you do include the attacking one, if you go Lavia, Caicedo, Cole Palmer,
Every
my
team
God.
in the league would want that midfield.
Well, every team in the league did want that midfield,
It's true,
more or
isn't
less.
it?
So
Yeah.
there you go. And Caicedo, a man that really turned up yesterday, and in a game where a lot of people in the media said that maybe Cole Palmer didn't turn up as much. One man who's been consistently putting in unreal performances in Moises Caicedo does turn up.
And
now,
the key word there is consistency.
consistency,
Like-
game in, game out.
Like, this is the thing. If people reckon that Cole Palmer is inconsistent, which is just a mad take, by the way, I'll tell you one thing. You know that Caicedo is going to have a good game.
Yep.
And we've waited for that in the middle of midfield since probably Kante, haven't we?
And listen, I know that the players obviously see the stuff that goes online. I actually know now, confirmed, that a fair few, if not a lot of them, watch the podcast. So big up.
Can we
Told you.
just say we just love every single one of you?
Of course we do.
We just love every single one of you.
Love
And
them.
we'd love to come to Cobham.
And I'm not actually, well, I don't know if we're allowed, but I'm not actually allowed to tell the story of how I know that. But trust me, Palm Dog, he watches the pod. He watches the pod. So do a few of the
He's
boys.
going to really appreciate the soliloquy that you just did.
What?
All about saying how good he is if Palm Dog's watching.
There you go. I
Yeah,
don't know
yeah.
what soliloquy means, but
It means an individual speech.
it means that Cole Palmer is the absolute fucking
Dogs.
daddy, mate. Yeah. So
We love
quite,
you, Cole.
quite humbling to know that a lot of them watch the pod.
Yeah.
But this is the part of the podcast that the hardcore love.
What's that?
This is where we get into some of the fan Q&A
Oh my
questions.
God.
Because we are obviously going to record a Noah preview after this game. Not another preview, a Noah preview.
You've always
Noah,
been a big fan of Noah.
great little team.
Great-
Terrific little team.
Great arc.
Yep, there you go. There
Yeah,
you go.
yeah,
Nearly
yeah.
a better arc than Kukure's redemption arc. But so, should we read out some of these
Yes,
questions,
come
right?
on, let's go into it.
The hardcore.
The hardcore.
sent-
Comment hardcore down in the comments right below now if you are a member of the Fully Fledged Hardcore. Maybe one day what we'll do is we'll have an actual official membership club with sort of like
we
some
should have a
perks.
list.
We'll have some sort of like tier 1 perks that the hardcore
Yep.
can have.
Well, people always ask me about, like, I always get comments and they say, oh, like, set up Patreon, set up
No,
Patreon.
they
but
don't say that. They don't say that, Joey. They say OnlyFans.
OnlyFans, yeah, they'd love that. They'd love that. But I'm not knocking Patreon, but it's not my style.
Yeah, but what
of doing
we'll
things.
do channel memberships instead on YouTube.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
That'd be more
But
fun.
listen, I love these lot. Right. Hater8. Hater8. But Hater is actually a surname, I think, because I had a teacher at school called Mr. Hater. Right?
That's not his real name.
No, it was Mr. Hater.
That can't
like,
have been his real name.
hey, like hey,
Oh,
not
Hay, as in David Hay.
yeah, like hey, like David Hay, who I'm currently making a boxing video on. Check
Yeah.
that one out. It's going to be a classic.
You prefer his personal life than his boxing career, though.
I prefer the fact that he's got 2 misses. Listen, I'm up for it. Why do you
How
think
does he do it? What's David Hay's secret?
Is
it money?
No, not just money. Gift of the gab.
Yeah, fair enough. Is he a good-looking chap? Would you say?
Probably the only man in his 40s that can still pull off the cane rolls.
I think he looks great with the game rolls.
Yeah. And just an all-round legend. But Hater 8.
Okay.
3 current Chelsea players to go on a night out with.
Okay. Have you got this in your head right now?
I've
Who would be fun? Do you know what? I reckon Cucurella would be quite fun on a night out. Because
Yeah.
he brings the Estrella, doesn't he?
Yeah, there you go. And he was pretty drunk in that
Yeah.
video, so I think he'd be. I would. Do you know what? I'd go. I think it's quite simple
Go
for
on
me,
then.
right?
Go on then.
Reece James, for obvious
What?
reasons.
Why?
You're on a night out. You want women. Bring the best looking man in the squad,
Wow,
which I believe is
Reece
Reece James. Would you say Reece James
Big
best
shout.
looking
We've
man
said this
in the?
before. I think it's Colwell.
Well, listen, I've got Colwell on my list
Have you?
because you're on a night out,
Yeah.
right? You never know. some rival fans or rival
Oh my
podcasters
gosh.
might come over. They might want to start, and then you need to know that you've got a bit of muscle wrapped around you who likes to get
you like a bit of muscle wrapped around you, don't
there
you, Joey?
you go.
No.
And you want a man who doesn't mind getting in and amongst it in Levi Colwell, who is always up for a scrap.
He
and
is.
do you know who I would?
Ask James McLean.
Do you know who I would pick as my last one?
Go on.
Chill Dog.
Yeah.
And I would pick him because it is always good to catch up with people that you don't see a lot of anymore.
But you've got a bit of beef with Chill Dog, haven't
No,
you?
I haven't. Jordan Duffy, Jordan_Duffy, number 10.
Yeah.
This question's funny.
Yeah.
Why are you so biased towards Chelsea? I'm sure it affects the views on your page. Jordan, I'm not
Jordan,
sure.
have you seen what is literally behind us?
I'm not sure how to break the news to you, Jordan. But this is actually a Chelsea podcast.
Do you know what? Maybe that's the mistake. Maybe we talk so much shit that people
Yeah.
have actually forgotten that we have started this talking about Chelsea.
And look, you can say bias, but I would say that we try to find the positives and maybe go and look at the YouTubers that want to be negative about Chelsea and see how their
plenty of
numbers are
those.
performing. I don't know. George Harewood. George
George
Harewood.
is a legend. I've spoken to George.
Yeah, he messages. Yeah. Well, George Harewood
Big up, George.
would like to know what's Josh's type in women?
Well,
He's
how much
asked the
time have you got?
question. You've
How
got to
much time
answer
have you
it.
got?
Yeah.
Because Joey's type is obviously working from home setup.
Yeah. I like to be able to balance the laptop off of the bum.
I would say first of all, I'm not. Oh, stop it! I would say first of all, I'm not a bum man. I'm actually a boob man.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Do you know
Fake or real?
Can I just say right? There's always that one guy when you go, "Are you a boob or bum guy?" and he goes, "Lips." Or like thighs.
Oh, no.
You're just like, what are you talking about? mate?
Ankle.
Yeah. I'm really into that.
Oh, I love a good earlobe on a woman.
Yeah. So I'd say I'm a boob man first and foremost. I would say I prefer a slightly taller girl.
Do you?
Yeah, slightly taller girl. Because when you are a little bit taller, it's not fair going out with the short ones.
Don't I know it? Don't I know it? Speaking of George Harwood, he's also asked, who is your favourite non-Chelsea player growing up?
Favourite non-Chelsea player? Do you know who I really wanted to emulate in my own footballing career? I really liked R9.
Yeah.
Couldn't pull the hair
shout.
off.
Yeah.
Couldn't pull the hair off. But I just loved the way he played.
Yeah.
He was a bulldozer. And I wanted to be a bulldozer up front in my football teams. Who would you say?
So I had a bit of a fascination with Paolo Di Canio.
Yes.
Loved Paolo Di Canio.
Yes. Greatest sporting moment in the history of football, that was. Do you remember that?
What, Paolo Di Canio?
Yeah.
What, that goal?
No, it wasn't
For
the goal.
West Ham?
It wasn't the goal.
What?
It was the best fair play moment of all time.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah,
What
then he catch the ball because someone's gone down
There was a
injured.
goalkeeper that went down, pulled his hamstring horrendously, snapped his hamstring. The cross comes in. Paolo Di Canio has a free header on goal, catches the ball.
Yeah.
Beautiful moment.
Ledge. The Shear Dog, Alan Shearer, is another one. Lucky enough to have been able to meet
out
him
full
myself,
circle.
and he was a very, very nice bloke. And before he lost the hair, I used to go to my barber at the time, and now you go in and say, oh, short back and sides, or skin fade, or, somebody fucking house rave a lot, get the old perm and whatever.
You could do that.
Whereas, do you know what I used to do?
Go on.
I used to walk into Amelia on Stony Broadway.
Amelia?
Yeah, hair in place. And I used to say, can I get the shearer, please?
Oh, wow. You went for the haircut and everything.
The shearer, yeah.
Wow.
Which was just a French crop. But
I got sheared.
Yeah. So I used to get the shearer. And do you know what? People might not like this one because
Shit.
I'm about to drop a Spurs player here.
No, don't. Just stop it.
No, I'm about to drop a Spurs
No,
player
stop
here.
it.
I've got to tell you, I loved Gareth Bale.
Oh, I thought you were going to say David Schindler.
Oh, no. Fuck him. Unless he wants to come on the podcast.
Yeah.
No.
He would be a really good podcast.
I loved Gareth Bale. Like
Gareth Bale was a fucking
peak
top
Gareth
player.
Bale. You know when you talk about short shelf life players,
Yeah.
and his shelf life was a lot longer than people realise. Like he he was a major part of that Real Madrid side for 5 seasons or something like that. Yeah. But them 2 seasons of Gareth Bale at Spurs, absolutely loved watching him play, unless it was against Chelsea. But didn't really turn up against us. Maybe he's a bit like Cole Palmer, just not a big name.
Yeah, not really for the big games. Yeah, fair enough.
Harry Christios. I'm guessing this is one that messages you too, because I always get messages of him.
Okay, yeah.
Harry Christios.
He's obviously going to be really annoyed about the halloumi chat that you had.
Well, this is very weird, right? Because he's asked favourite takeaway.
Oh, okay. I've said this before, and I'm going to say this until the day I go. This is a bit of a bougie takeaway, so maybe this isn't even fair. But I love a Deliveroo Pizza Express.
That's all right. Nothing wrong with it.
People judge you for saying Pizza Express is the best pizza. I've had a lot of discrimination about that.
Well, there's 2 types. There's 2 types of pizza, though, isn't there? There is actual takeaway pizza,
dirty
and
pizza,
there's pizza.
So what is your dirty takeaway of choice? Then?
There's only one.
Are you going to say Papa John's?
No.
Are you going to say Domino's?
Domino's.
Yeah, I am going to back that back and say I do now think that Papa John's is superior. Do you know why?
Why?
The dips.
Oh, yeah, you know that little table thing they put in the middle of the pizza? Do you know the little
That's how they spy on
that
you.
little white table
That's
thing?
how they spy on you.
They
That's
put in
a
the middle of
listing
the pizza. Isn't there a saying about, like, a weird thing about what that is actually for?
What do you think it's for?
I don't know.
You never thought about why that's there.
To stop the heat pushing the material that No? Go on. Why is it?
It's just very simple. It keeps the structural integrity of the box, so the box doesn't crush in on the pizza.
That's exactly what I meant. To stop the heat from sinking the box.
No, but it's more on for impact.
Ah, right, okay.
Yeah.
Right. Well,
Did you actually not know that?
No, I didn't know that. No. Domino's would be mine. I can't. When I had my mouth problem, I came very close to having a pizza the other day.
How is your mouth?
Mouth's fine.
There you go.
Fine.
A lot of people have been really worried about that, so I had to ask.
Look at jaw action. There you go.
Have you ever dislocated your jaw?
And by the way, everyone was saying about, like, whatever. You know this spa that I was on about, where I done a laceration to the mouth. It got infected. I didn't break my jaw. And also, like, the jaw was a little bit swollen. Also, that isn't an indication that I was getting beat up, by the way. That just happens.
I think the major accusation that we must talk about is that people thought you'd had Botox.
Mate, people were commenting on the kickoff video, going like, genuinely worried for Joey at this point. He's slurring his words, like, obviously drunk.
The Argentinian king has been right all along.
Yeah, there you go. My favourite takeaway, I'm gonna go with probably a tie. I'd probably go prawn green curry, and then I would get chicken skewers, and I would dice them up and stick them in. So
it's
like chicken
a
and prawn.
satay chicken skewer?
Yeah, the satay chicken skewer. So I'd have that in with a prawn green curry, with obviously a bit of basmati
what I thought
rice.
you were going to come back with. That's very healthy.
Yeah, that's not. Well, I am a healthy man.
Healthy takeaway.
How many pounds above fight weight do you think I am right now?
15.
Bearing in mind, Ricky Hatton used to put on about 3
lot.
stone in between fights, things like that.
Paddy the Baddy? He puts on a lot more.
Paddy the Baddy, he puts on about 3-4 stone. People, which in pounds is like, 40, 50 pounds, stuff like that sometimes. A lot of these fighters do. There's a lot of rumours on the internet that Joey Knight's an alcoholic, doesn't live the life, blah, 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 blah. How many pounds above fight weight would you say I am right now?
I'm going to go 15.
You're going to go 15. And that would actually be a decent number. That would be a sensible number, I think.
Yeah.
I weighed the other day 143 pounds and I boxed at 135. And by the way, I also sent you across a 5K time of mine the other day. I won't go into the details, but
we do need to go into the details, because this is a question that I have for you. How the fuck do you have all of this gas? Joey Knight's 5K times puts everyone to shame. I actually sort of go to sleep at night and I think, why am I not as fast as Joey Knight?
Well, we need to keep this on the down low a little bit, because I want to lure my opponents into a full sense of security. Do you know what I mean? I like to embrace this whole Joey Knight's an alcoholic, Joey Knight doesn't live the life and all that, because if you knew the truth, I've got a fucking engine on me, son. Yeah.
The real question though is, does your fighter in Undisputed have an equally good gas tank?
I've almost given up. I had my mate round Alf the other night, and he hadn't played it, didn't know the buttons. He smashed me in every match. It is a great game, Undisputed.
You need to play the career.
I am fucking shit.
You need to play the career. I've got a little one for you. I've started a new career because obviously I won with my own character. I've started playing as one of your friends, George Groves.
There you go. Big Georgie Groves. We need to get him on the podcast.
I would love to have George Groves on the podcast. In fact, I saw him at one of the fights we were at recently. Did you chat to him? I didn't get a chance to speak to him.
We give each other the little,
Give the little,
but
right.
not at the fight. Not at the fight.
Okay.
This was at
Weigh-in.
was it Guildhall?
Yeah,
was that
Guildhall.
the press conference
Yeah.
thing? But he knows. He's a Chelsea boy.
Well, I'm just going to say, George, you're very good in career mode. I'm very, very much enjoying
He's very
playing
good.
with
He's
George.
very good in his own career. George Groves, I followed his career closely. Sean Siang or
Shawnee.
Sean 06, worst lads holiday ever.
What, as in your worst lads holiday?
Yeah, like it doesn't need to be a lads holiday because I know you haven't done many lads
I
holidays.
haven't done
have
that
you?
many lads
Okay, so
holidays.
I'll go
No,
a lads
go on.
holiday. You go worst holiday.
Okay, go on then.
Do you want me to do my worst?
Yeah, go on.
Right, and this actually wasn't a lads, there was girls there too, but I might offend a few people here. Turin. I went to Turin, right, 10 years ago now. Yeah, I'd have been out there 10 years ago, probably right now, because it was just after my first fight, about a week after that. We went to Turin. Why did we go to Turin?
Yeah.
We went there because we used to like to go to house raves, right? I was just one that used to pretend I liked it. You know, when the music just sounds the same for 4 hours, and then your
we know
mates,
why you
your
were
mates
there.
are all, there you go.
Yeah.
Your mates are all off their nut, and they're going, oh, that's sick, wasn't it? And I'm going, was it? Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, that's a big
I
one.
like the bit when it went, yeah,
Over and
loved that
over and
bit.
over again for 3 hours. Yeah,
loved
yeah,
it. But Turin, so it's Italy, yeah?
It is
I'm
Italy.
thinking I'm going Italy.
Pizza.
So I'm rocking up and I'm going, I want pizza, I
Yeah.
want pasta, I want lasagne, yeah?
Yeah, lasagne.
Which is
big
obviously
time.
lasagna, yeah? None of them had a fucking clue what I'm going on about, mate. None of the restaurants out there sold any hearty Italian food,
Bollocks.
which is, mate, honestly,
Bollocks.
none of them. Not only that, I'm in the middle of the rave. What happens to me?
Get pissed on.
No, someone ripped the chain off the back of my neck.
Shut up.
Off the back of my neck and ran off. It weren't an
it was
expensive
fake.
chain,
Yeah.
and it had a little pendant on it, and the pendant, as they've done it, has fallen into my hand.
Oh, that's good. At least
And
you
the
get the
pendant
pendant.
was the expensive bit. The chain was just little cheap. Well, not cheap,
I
like
love
200
it.
quid or something.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
the
yeah.
pendant was the expensive bit. So there you go. But Turin, yeah. Sorry if you live in Turin, but as a holiday, I thought it was a shithole. What
In
about
that
you?
pendant, did you have a picture of the love of your life at the time?
Let's not go into that. Nah, it's a little boxing glove pendant.
Oh, okay.
My uncle give me it.
Okay. Sentimental. I like it. Right, fair enough. That sounds that's bad, mate, because I reckon Italy's a lovely place to go now.
Italy is.
Just not
Turin's a
Turin.
shithole.
Oh, wow. Sorry to anyone that lives in Turin. My worst holiday was in the Caribbean when there was a fully fledged hurricane.
Oh my God.
So that kind of ruins your holiday.
Yeah.
So,
God, I
yeah.
bet it had your head in a swirl, didn't it?
It had my head in the swirl.
Was it a whirlwind of emotions?
It
would
was
you
a
say?
whirlwind of emotions.
Yeah. And do you know what? Like, I bet when that's going on, you just get swept away with things, don't you?
How many more can you do?
Don't know.
That was a bad one. They boarded up the windows. It was
God.
not good. I have a friend that was in Jamaica this year that had exactly the same experience.
Yeah.
Don't go in the summer.
List XR. Any bad fan interactions?
I don't really have any fans.
You do.
You got no fans.
Got no fans.
The
No
Wednesday
green.
Raider.
No.
Have you not? Even at the boxing or anything like that?
Yeah, I'm trying to think, because obviously, no, I've never had a bad fan interaction at Chelsea.
No.
It's always just been nothing but love. I'm trying to think at the boxing. I mean, there's videos of me on YouTube, isn't there, with fucking people trying to confront me and stuff at the boxing.
I mean, that was probably not a less than ideal.
Less than ideal interaction, but I wouldn't quite call him a fan. I'd call him more of a hater, but...
I mean,
yeah, we won't.
he
talk
knows who
about
you
it.
are.
We won't. Yeah, he knows who I am. Yeah. The same person said, any celeb/influencer who you've met that was rude.
Oh, no, I can't think of any that have been really rude.
Didn't Roy Keane not?
Well, Roy Keane is. Would you even class him as a celebrity at this point?
Yeah, of course he
Yeah,
is.
yeah. Well, Roy Keane was a fucking little dickhead.
Yeah. What happened?
Do you want me to say the
Go
story?
on.
Well, look. When I was 8 or 9, I was lucky enough to go over to Old Trafford and watch Chelsea absolutely demolish Manchester United, and went into the changing room, went into the players' lounge, and had a couple of drinks with the whole teams, both teams.
Mm-hmm.
I took an England shirt with me, thinking
Respectful.
Like I was a Chelsea fan. I obviously was never going to get a Man United signed shirt, obviously, but could have taken the Chelsea shirt, but didn't. So I took the England shirt, thinking, yeah, everyone will just sign that, and then we've got Man United and Chelsea on one shirt. It will be all good. Go round to every single player. All the Man United guys, lovely. Like Ollie was really nice. Like think Rude might have been there. They were all lovely. And then all the Chelsea guys, fucking hell. Like we had a good group of Chelsea players at that time. They were all fucking legends. Last player I got up to was Roy Keane, and I'm 9 years old.
Keno Pacino.
I'm going to him. Hello, Mr. Keane. Hello, please have a signature on my shirt. And he had a pint in his hand, and he just went, fuck off.
Heartbreaking.
Wasn't even that bad, really. He was the last one I wanted.
Yeah.
I didn't really care.
Yeah.
But a bit of a dick.
Do you know what I've always found? And obviously, like as a kid, like because of all the the Football Factory stuff and stuff like that, and people that wouldn't know this, my dad's an author, so I spent time with. He wrote George Best's autobiography, Peter Osgood's autobiography, loads of people like famous ex-footballers and stuff like that. So I met a lot of people, but more so like now since I've got into this industry, I've also met a lot of people, and I've never took a real dislike to anyone. There's one person, and I might as well have not said it because I'm not going to name him on camera, who that I met.
That's a shame that you're not going to name them.
Nah, I met him in Leeds after my fight, and he's a little weasel. But apart from that, he's a very well known person as well, isn't he?
I'm gutted that we haven't been able to name that. Can we do the other side?
Fuck him.
Can we do a celebrity that you've met and you thought, fucking hell, they've been really nice and given me a bit more time than I thought? Shall I do my one?
Go on, yeah.
I met, I don't know if you remember it. Did you watch Game of Thrones?
Yes.
So I met Nathalie Emmanuel, who is Missandei in Game of Thrones.
Girl.
She's the right-hand woman of Daenerys Targaryen.
Yeah.
She was absolutely lovely.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah. I'll give you one, right? So I'm in a rave. Again, this is in my raving days. Probably pretty off my nut.
Can I just ask one question?
Yeah.
What did you wear to the raves?
Oh,
what was your sort
mate,
of
I
your
used
outfit?
to wear some horrific shit.
What were you wearing? Was it
like fucking floral t-shirts and shit? It's all right.
Have you got pictures of this?
Yeah, but I'm not putting them on screen. But anyway, I've lost all my pals. Yeah. I've turned round. Who's there? Bother from Green Street.
Really?
Remember Leo Gregory, the actor, Bother? And I'm like, oh yes, bruv. And he's like, yeah, what's happening, mate, and whatever. And I went, mate, I said I used to love this thing you were in, and he's probably thinking I'm going to say Green Street, and I went, Out of Control, and he was like, Out of Control, and I went, yeah, you was in it, you was the bully in it, Sam, and he went, yeah, no, I know, but he was like, do you know, he's like, the amount of people that everyone knows me from Green Street and like a couple other movies. He's like, no one's ever said Out of Control to me. And I said, yeah. And basically it was a thing. It's probably on YouTube now. And it's about young offenders, right? And I think that the reason we got shown it in school and they picked a group of like a class of like the naughty kids and they showed them this program called Out of Control.
You weren't naughty.
Nah. And it's about like, you know, I think they showed it us to scare us and whatever because the boys, whatever. And the bully in it was Bother from Green Street. And then we struck up a little bit of a friendship there and we ended up having a drink together in that rave. So there you go.
You weren't in Football Factory, were you?
My sister was in Football Factory.
No,
We've said this one already. We won't speak about the Football Factory. Yeah. We get last. Let's do two more, right?
Okay.
The Reza, I can't pronounce your name. Guilty pleasure song. What is your?
No, go on, tell me your one
first. Because I thought
first.
about mine in the car.
Tell me your one first.
So when you say guilty pleasure, like I ain't gonna have like dancing in the moonlight or something like that because
it's gotta be something embarrassing.
I will happily whack that on.
It's got to be something.
Or
really
like say like I'll have it in the headphones and someone will speak to me and I'll lower the headphones and I don't care if they can hear dancing in the but there's a few like that you're like I don't really want people to hear me listening to that.
Yeah.
And do you know what I tell you what it is?
Go on.
I must confess that my loneliness
That's not a
is
guilty
killing
pleasure.
me now.
That's not a guilty pleasure.
Hit Me Baby One More Time by Britney Spears.
That's fine.
Is it?
That's a good song.
Is it?
Yeah, that's a really good song.
Oh, go on then. What's your one?
Well, my missus is a very big Taylor Swift fan, and I'm trying to have this.
Oh, do you know what?
Yeah.
That came into my
Yeah,
head as
yeah.
well. And do you know
22.
what? I feel like now we're lying in the cold hard ground.
Yeah, banger.
And what's the other one?
I'm feeling 22.
I stay out too late.
Oh God, you know. Yeah, you know all of the songs.
Oh yeah, I'm
Do
big.
you want to go?
What, Taylor Swift?
Yeah, do you want to go and see her?
Nah.
No,
We can take the missus.
I don't really want to go.
No.
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 Let them go together.
Yeah. There you go.
So yeah, I'm trying to do this thing at the moment right now where I'm trying to say like I really don't like it.
Right.
Trying to play like the cool like yeah it's crap.
But what is your guilty pleasure
but
song?
Actually, you're like that. Probably 22.
Yeah.
That's a great song.
22.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah. Mine
bop to it.
as well. I like the song. What is the song that I like? It's not really a guilty pleasure, but you ain't gotta go to work. I ain't worried about nothing. Anyway, last one.
Go on.
Could you and Josh, Sarah White, could you and Josh survive a zombie apocalypse?
I
would
fucking
say,
hate zombies.
I would say yes, and I would say that
What's your plan?
I wouldn't have a plan, mate. You would have the plan.
Do you know what's funny is I actually have a plan.
What is your plan?
Okay.
Rob a drug dealer.
No.
No, do you remember
So
when I
this
was
is
saying
gonna,
that was the...
I think this is going to implicate me in like being a little bit posh. So prepare yourself for that. My school that I went to when I was a kid had a shooting range, and it had a bunker in it in which there were some weapons, and it had some ammunition in it that you could fill those weapons with. So my plan would be to break into that bunker. There's a fuckload of food in there.
What,
And
tinned?
Tinned, like army rations.
Tin tuna's not bad.
Army rations actually are not that bad. They're actually pretty good. And so yeah, I would go there. We'd get the guns and we'd survive. We'd shoot our way through the zombie apocalypse.
Yeah.
So your plans worked because it's my plan.
There you go. I would just let you make the plan, and then I would go out.
Would we survive?
For a certain period of time, we would, yeah.
Yeah. I'd like to think we could. I think we would survive.
Yeah.
I think we're sort of, we'd smart it out.
Yeah. What's the pub called in Shaun of the Dead?
Waiting for it to all blow over. Is it Red Lion? Is it something
Head
like
to
that?
not the rifleman. Head to
The cricketer, is it?
No.
He has a cricket bat, doesn't he? What a film that is.
What
sort of zombies would they be?
Shaun of the Dead zombies would be fucking easy. It's the
Yeah.
Walking Dead zombies that are a little bit harder, and then
21
you go.
days later.
Then you go, yeah, them zombies that can,
28
you know,
days later.
they're the Winchester.
The
Is the
Winchester.
pub
Well
in, there
done.
you
Good
go.
knowledge.
We can
Good
sign it
knowledge.
off on that.
I've got 1 second. I've got
Go
one
on.
question. Would you rather be locked in a room
Yeah.
with a zombie or a tiger?
I would.
What do you reckon you got a
rather-
better chance?
Can I be honest with
You've
you?
only got your bare
And
hands.
I've only got this in my head because we were talking about Cam Kirkham the other day, right? And I watch all this stuff, and I was watching one of his videos earlier, and I was thinking, yeah, God, I proper agree with you here. I would rather be locked in a room with a zombie and a tiger than have to spend 1 hour in a room with that Bevo fella. He absolutely does my head in.
What do you
that
think
bloke.
about how his missus is paying for his life? He's got an OnlyFans missus. now.
Don't judge anyone
judge
on
that.
anything like that. Yeah, no,
Yeah, fair
don't
enough.
judge anyone on anything
So
like
what
that.
winds him up? What?
I just think
winds
he's a
you up?
complete cock. Like, I just like, you know, them people that do these
but
things
he's
where
doing
they.
PAs and you're not doing PAs.
Do you know? I've had offers before, right? A lot of people have said to me, "Oh, would you do these things where you ask people questions outside Stamford Bridge?" Now, if I was to do that, I know I'd get nothing but love because it's the Chelsea fans, and I love them, and they love me, and they love you, and we get nothing but love up there. But at the same time, there's a thing of me which is like, you know, when I'm walking along, like, and I always have headphones. If I'm
me
walking
too,
through
me
Epsom, I've always got headphones. Yeah, and whatever. And when I'm walking along, like without sounding out of order, like I almost don't want to be disturbed in a way.
You're in your own little
Where
world.
I don't mind being disturbed, like say for example, if I'm out in town and someone comes over and they're like, "Oh, Joey, I watch a podcast," I'll always make sure I'm like, "Yes, bro, fucking what's happening?" Like give them a positive interaction. But if someone come over with a fucking phone in their hand and went, "Oh, mate, is TikTok a real job or something like that?" I'd just chin him. I'd just chin him there and then.
It's the one when they ask you how much money do you make in a year. I don't know why anyone stops and
Yeah.
answers that question.
Mind your own fucking business and fuck off. You fucking nonce.
Would you do? There's a couple that I think you would do.
What?
One is, what are you listening to?
Yeah.
Because I can just imagine
Yeah.
you just. I mean, it would probably hit me maybe one more time.
No,
going
it'd
on
probably
that.
be Dido here with me. I won't
then-
go.
Yeah, banger. And then the other one would be
can't
where are you clothes from? I would imagine you would answer that as well.
Yeah, probably.
Fit check.
Yeah, probably from Nyla.
Yeah. Oh, what?
They haven't heard of that brand yet.
What's Nyla?
Oh, well. Fans of the channel will soon find out. It's
Oh,
big brand that may or may not be coming into sponsorship with the channel, but we'll work on that
Oh,
one.
wait a
People,
second.
let us know your thoughts on today's video. We answer the Q&A. I might even put a little time stamp. I might put in the comments that the Q&A start from this certain time because they get annoyed about that. But if you're hoping on me to do timestamps, you'll be waiting a long time because I ain't got that sort of time on my hands.
I'll tell you one last thing as well. A lot of people are asking us about Spotify, and what we'll say here is it's probably just going to stay on YouTube.
It's probably just going to stay on YouTube.
Yeah.
And do you know why?
Why is that?
Because you can't see the good looks
Yeah,
on Spotify
yeah,
of me
yeah.
and this man that you can on YouTube.
I've got a hack though.
Yep.
If you do want to listen to us offline,
Mm-hmm.
do have a look at YouTube Premium.
There you
The
go.
reason why I suggest YouTube Premium is because you get everything you'd get in Spotify plus YouTube plus offline videos.
Yep.
Check it out.
There you go. Check it out. See you in the next one. Bye-bye.